Okay, hey YouTubers and video game fans. This is a video not about showing a product or review of something. That's just a video that I really don't like to do very much. I don't like to rant or do these kind of videos. So let me say this. What I think about the PlayStation fiasco that they're going to do in 2028, where they're going to get rid of the disc. So that means if you have a PlayStation 5, it's going to be the end of that. So that means you won't be able to play any of your discs. Well, you can't play any disc on 5. You can't play 1, 2, and 3. But you can only play 4 and 5. But the new console is going to be completely downloaded. But you can only get about 4 games on it. Because I had a game on mine where Call of Duty. It was the latest one that came out about, I guess, a year or two ago. And it got so many updates. I literally had to delete games off that I liked. And it started filling up the hard drive. So I had to delete games, movies, just to get it to get the update. So it got too many updates, so I deleted it off. Paid probably $60 for it. So today I just unhooked my PlayStation 5. I'm just not gonna do anything with them anymore. $1,000 is just way too expensive. Uh, I did order the Neo Geo, comes out November the 12th. But I saw a report on that where they're saying there's going to be a delay or something. Or it could be next year for it to come out, but I don't know if that's true. Uh, Sometimes it's AI. But somebody did point out they were saying that could be just in Japan only because I think they just had a big old earthquake and did some bad stuff. So uh, maybe it's just them. I don't know, really know what the deal is, but like I said, it could be fake news. Um, so I looked on my Amazon. It still says November the 12th, and so like I said, I guess stuff, if there's too many disasters, stuff can happen where they can delay these things. So, I like retro. I like going retro because I like cartridges. I don't like disc. But I do like 4Ks. I do like Blu-rays, DVDs. I do like albums, records, and CDs. Uh, I have the Pandora box, 32,000 games on it. I have a Atari Plus, Pac-Man Plus. I enjoyed that, but that was better than the Atari Plus. I also got the Game Station Go and Warrior 64. I do have something called uh, it's from Hyperkins, but it plays Sega Genesis games. It's a little system called 69. I can't even think of the name now. So I have it on my shelf over there, but I don't want to get up. So I have a Hyperkins who makes multiple, uh, where they take one system and put bunches of systems on it. Now this one that I bought can play up to, with an adapter, can play up to 10 games on it. You could play uh, 4 different Sega system games on it. You could play 2 Nintendo systems on it, Super Nintendo NS and Capcom, and you could play 3 Game Boys, the original Game Boy Color and Advance. Uh, but on the adapter, you play the Sega Card, the Sega Game Gear, Sega Master. I have a Sega Master game that I bought, Rambo, and I got the Sega Genesis multi game cartridge, 150 games on it, which works on the littler version of the Sega Genesis, and then it won't work on the Hyperkin's multi system player. And I do have Pitfall, and I have Game Gear, Batman Returns. I do have a Star Wars Game Boy Advance. I have the 41 Ataris, 6 Nintendos. I have GoldenEye, World's Dawn of Shadow of the Empire, and then I got Super Nintendo, 6, 7 of those, 7 of the Nintendo. I have like Batman 89, Robocop 2, Rambo, Pitfall for Super Nintendo. I have Star Trek, Airwolf, Star Wars games for Super Nintendos, uh, Rocketeer, and Batman Forever. So I have several games. I can't name them all, but I have a lot of the Atari ones. 41 of those. So my loved one is getting me a PlayStation 2 that his son has for many years. This is probably around early 2000s, and I had one for about 5 years. I had the 3, and I enjoy home on the 3, but they quit the home, which was stupid because they were making bunches of money for it. And why did they quit it? I don't understand it. I enjoyed home. I've spent all my money on home because it was so much fun. I might have bought maybe 2 to 3 discs a year because $60 is a lot of money, and I don't have that lots of money. Uh, I'm on a fixed income, and I have to be careful what to buy. So if I want something good, I have to save money every month, a little bit of money every month to get something good. I think in September I might pre-order the Nexus if it's still available for pre-order. I am getting the Neo Geo, and next month I'm getting the the Arcade system. Now they have one that's got a game with it. Looks pretty good to me. They have one that doesn't have a game, which is cheaper, but I would have to buy a game. Uh, they do got the Nexus coming out in October the 30th. I might pre-order that in September. So what I do is I save cash every month, just a little bit, enough to I get a Amazon gift card because that way I can get more stuff. But I do have Prime, so but I don't like to spend too much on Prime. I have a budget, so I go to the the flea markets. We have 2 flea markets in our area next where we live, and one's better than the other. There's a bigger one, and there's a smaller one, which is an older one, but then there's a bigger one. Uh, I like going there because they have lots of games, uh, Atari games, 64 games, all those. The reason I have more 40 more Atari games is that they were cheaper, and some games I got free online, and then I got some at the flea market. So, but I try to get all the real good titles, not so much of the knockoffs, like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, there's so many of them. Night Driver. I have about 41 of them. So I think I read there was over 200 games, but there might be more than that. But I don't know. Uh, so yeah, I ain't gonna deal with Sony anymore. I'm done with Sony. They gotten too much money, and I think they're gonna I believe will be the last console they're ever going to do. Like I said, I like retro things. Lots of retro vintage things. Now, I am going to get into videos because that's what I used to love when I was young. I used to love to buy videos. In fact, I got 3 Star Wars videos that I bought back in probably 1983 or something because they came out with Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, which was like Star Wars was $89, and then I had got Empire Strikes Back for free, and then I had to pay Star Wars $89 at Columbia House. But then in 1986, they came out with Return of the Jedi. It came out in '83, so the video it took longer to get the video because usually it takes them about 2 years to get the video. But this one, from '83 to '86, it came out, and it was pretty cheap too. It was $20, but it wasn't as good a quality. Uh, Most videos they came out like Big, the movie Big with Tom Hanks. Uh, I bought that movie. It was like $30. Most movies were $30, but it was weird when they first came out with them. If you bought videos in the store, most of them were old black and white movies, and my dad loved the. There was a movie that came out, video Citizen Kane, which was a big deal because videos. My dad was a great provider, and he bought. We were probably the first one in the whole neighborhood to have a VCR. We even loved going to the video store, and he also bought me a camera, a GE camera. He worked at GE, so he died at GE, 1985, I think, or 6. And so yeah, he had some heart issues. They took him off his heart medicine. And then all of a sudden, he was just there at his work eating lunch, and he just fell over. And it was a big shock to us, so we never got over it. So I had to end up going to school in my 10th grade. Then I went to 11th, and I had a kind of like a seizure that I got. This was right after the Challenger blew up on the Space Shuttle Challenger, because I remember that. I had a seizure because I was sick for about 2 weeks, and my calcium was real low, and they didn't know anything about those kind of things back then. So then finally they did tests, and then find out I was going to be sent home the next day, and I was nowhere near to be sent home. I was in the 10th grade of high school, and I had a seizure, and then he died at the end of the same year. So I had a brother that died too. So yeah, he was a great provider. I got all the toy, like the $6 million Man, the Star Trek figures, Star Wars figures. I love the Atari, the Pong. Then I got stuff later on, like I had an NS one time. I did have a Sega Master, Sega Genesis. This was in 1990s. And I had a 32X CD. I had a 64, PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and 5 in my adult years. So I don't think I'm going to be into Sony PlayStation anymore because they're just too expensive. And you know they're going to start charging $200 on the Prime because and now they're taking away bunches of movies, even the ones you've already bought. They're going to take them away. They're just taking away your rights and your I don't know. I just unhooked everything, and I'm just going retro. I like vintage things better. And then they got these new systems like Evercade and Neo Geo. They play like the old games, but they're rarely new systems. But they play like the old games. And the Atari, they got games coming out for it, but you can play the old games that people are selling. So I never had a problem with it. I did buy a game recently. I just got it for $1. It was called Glico Rocky. It was a boxing game. It's a Glico, but I tried to put it into the system to find out it wasn't a 2600 game. It was a Glico company game, but it wouldn't play in the Atari that I bought, the Pac-Man edition. It wouldn't play because I think it was a totally different system. I looked it up online, but I didn't see anything about it. They do have ColecoVisions, but it's a preloaded game. So, yeah, they do have a lot of preloaded games. I do have a Pandora box and a Game Station Go. But I like the retro systems, and I really enjoy the Hyperkins. You have to get a memory card for it to do an update on it, but it works fine to me. But I gotta get an HC adapter. It's got 12 adapters on it. I had one that had 5 of them on it, but it quit working, so I gotta get a new one. But I have to wait until September probably on that. So I also got next month I gotta get a little speaker. My speakers are not doing good on my TV, so I gotta get a good speaker because my TV speakers are not good. But I probably eventually would have to get a new TV. So I don't know. I hope I don't have to get one too soon. But usually the speakers is the first thing to go out because I did have a Bose speaker system. They quit working, so now I'm relying on my TV. So now it's starting to sound muffled, and so I found some speakers that would get me by for a month or so. So, so I don't like what Sony's doing. I think they're going down a rabbit hole like a bunch of screwy rabbits. And I think their theme song is dun 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 dun. You know, like Bugs Bunny used to sing after he screwed Elmer Fudd. He'd be singing dun 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 dun. Then he'd jump into the rabbit hole. And I think they're a bunch of filthy animals. So that's my thoughts, and maybe my next videos will be about uh, reviewing products. I don't like to do these videos, but I want to share my thoughts. And so thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, sign up. Over and out.